Big bodies, it's kind of no secret. They've been sort of the villain of the 2xKO Alpha Lab. And when I say big bodies, I mean Brawl, Illaoi, and Darius. But especially Darius. And it's for a couple reasons. Number one, because of the way the game works, having like really big lows to hit retreating guard is obviously something that's really strong. And obviously, if you're a bigger character, you're gonna have bigger lows. Like Darius' sweep or like Brahm's sweep, for example, are a really good example of this, right? But also, like, it's an alpha, right? So usually these big characters are easier to play. They do more damage naturally. They have more health. Their buttons are bigger, so you don't have to like move as well with them, and they just allow you to make more mistakes, right? So people are complaining about these characters a lot. But usually in fighting games, big bodies have a couple inherent weaknesses, and it's no different in this game. So let's go over those. And these both are weaknesses on defense, and they're pretty exploitable weaknesses on defense that these characters, including Darius, who has a DP, like he has a reversal, right? And he's the only character in the game that has that. So people currently are under the impression that he has the best defense in the game, and that honestly still might be the case because DPs are really good, but you should at least be exploiting this about him. The one thing that's always going to be a classic for big bodies in fighting games is fuzzies or rising overheads, right? And that would basically look something like this. And so because you make the bot block this overhead on the way down, he's locked into the standing pose that you see here, right? And because he's locked in that standing pose, they're going to try to crouch block because it's a fighting game. You want to crouch block, but these characters are tall enough where you can hit a rising overhead on them, right? And notably, Brawl is weaker to these than other characters because you can get more easy conversion on him, or some stuff works only on him, right? But let's go into that right now. So some variety of these will work on Illaoi, Darius, and Brawl, but Brawl kind of gets more bullied, like I said. This one from Yasuo gives a solo combo on Brawl, because jump light into jump heavy is going to connect, and then that's actually just plus enough for you to land and then jab, right? But you would need an assist to convert on Illaoi and Darius, and shout out to Nitro for sending me this clip of him calling Echo because we play the same team. So yeah, I think Yasuo is really strong because he can set up off of his stance into hop, so there's more opportunities to like meta stack your opponent, blah blah blah, right? And then this Echo 1, shouts to SQ for posting this, only works on Brawl, and you need an assist to convert it. But, I mean, better than nothing. Illaoi's works on herself and on Brawl and not on Darius. And then Ahri can do jump in into rising, jump M, air dash, down light, jump heavy on Brawl, and then that combo solo, obviously, right? And then rising, jump down light into just an assist call on Darius and Illaoi. With Ahri, I think it's probably like you're obviously, if you just hit like a jump in, like dash jump H or whatever, you could just air dash cancel, right? But if you like or if someone blocks a jump in like a IAD from you, then obviously you can't do another 50-50 after. So I think that's where this would come up and be useful. So yeah, I mean, I think these are probably gonna be less of a big deal in this game than some other games, just because number one, this game has some pretty good defensive mechanics like push block and especially mid-screen retreating guard and stuff like that, right? And then parry, so if you try just meaty with the safe jump, there's a counterplay to that. So it's probably a bigger deal in some other fighting games, but it's still definitely worth mentioning because, I mean, a hit's a hit, So the thing is, this training mode actually doesn't have a way to make your opponent switch block at certain timings yet. So the way that I practice these is a little budget. But basically what I do is I make a recording of the bot stand blocking and then switching to crouch block. So it looks like this. And if you time your stuff right, then it'll look like this. So let me try it. It'll take a couple tries probably. Like that, right? So see how he got hit even though it was a true string? Because with this game's training mode settings, you can't really, to my knowledge, you can't make this happen any other way. So yeah, that's how I go about it. Again, it's a little cursed, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I basically modify the timings of like my other, the other fuzzies that I'm doing in this video just to, match this timing of this one recording, because it's probably easier to do that than to make a bunch of recordings, And then the other thing, which I think actually matters a lot more, is the fact that their jabs are 7 frames. The other characters, which is Yasuo, Echo, and Ahri, right? They have 5-frame jabs. And the throw protection in this game is designed around the 5-frame jabs. And what all that means is basically if you try and throw somebody on wake up or out of a block string with a 5-frame jab, you can mash on the throw, right? But 7-frame characters do not have this option, and Darius' DP also loses to throw. So it can you know, create situations where you have just less options against throw. Like, this is a really, really big deal. Generally, fighting games like Street Fighter, for example, has just straight up meaty throws that nobody can mash on. And then a lot of like anime games, for example, will have a universal throw protection that matches the slowest, fastest normal. It sounds a little weird, but like every character has like a fastest normal, and then whatever the slowest one of those is, that's the throw protection is adjusted so characters can mash on that. So think like Strive and Dragon Ball or whatever, right? So this is really exploitable for that reason. And then the other reason, which I think is a even bigger deal, is that handshake tag is effectively 0, right, after the freeze, which is both characters can act at the same time. But obviously 5-frame characters can just act before. So in a lot of scrambles, because like this game is pretty chaotic, right? There's a lot of scrambles where handshake tag can just, you know, happen, and then you're in their face, and then as a big body, you just have to block, right? And also, throw is 5 frames, so throw will also beat your jab in this situation, assuming you aren't exiting block stun. So I think that the meaty throw thing probably sounds like a bigger deal, and for now, it is absolutely a huge deal, right? Long term, I think that the handshake tag thing is pretty crazy, and like obviously the smaller characters or like the 5-frame jabs are smaller than the 7-frame jabs, so maybe it won't come up as much, but I think kind of on principle, it is pretty wild. Like, it makes perfect sense for Darius to have a slower jab because he has a DP, so he kind of has this thing going on where he's stronger against strikes than everyone else because he has DP, but then weaker against throws because you can throw his DP and you can throw his jab. But it's a really, really big weakness for Braum and Illaoi, in my opinion, and like, I'm not good enough at this game to say whether it should or shouldn't be a thing, but it's definitely something to think about. So in this clip, Ari is calling Yasuo assist. Yasuo assist whiffs, and Illaoi is trying to check it, but then, you know, reacting to the assist whiff, layer 2 tags into Yasuo, and because his tag is 0 and Illaoi's jab is slower, she loses. So it would look like this. So doing this meaty throw stuff mid-screen is obviously going to be a little bit harder because retreating guard is so strong, which I went over last video if you want to check that out, right? So, you know, you would try to do it, but then it would look something like this, right? So that's obviously, you know, they're going to retreating guard out. So the way we solve this is by sandwiching someone, right? And in my opinion, this is easiest to do with Yasuo and Ari assists because they cross up the opponent on block, right? So if you just cross somebody up and then tag, suddenly, you know, where they're going to retreating guard because your boy is body blocking them. So that can be used to create sequences like this one, where you call Yasuo assist and you sandwich them in this way, and then you can do it right after the tag, but it's also even easier to do it if you just jab and take throw, because Yasuo's jab is plus, right? You're +1, then you do a 5-frame throw, and it beats throw protection because their jab is 7 frames, so they can't mash on it. And then it beats Darius DP as well, and then it also, if they jump, you can just tag into Echo, right? Because you're tagging into Echo to combo off of this throw because I'm playing freestyle. I mean, I think it's pretty good with this team, right? So you're tagging into Echo to combo off the throw, but then if you see they jump the throw, you just tag into Echo and anti-air. So you can air throw or just like, you know, do like down heavy, anti-air, or whatever you want, right? So you kind of force them to either spend meter on push block or a super, or you force them to just tech your throw, right? And then making them commit to tech opens up, like, you know, you can just hit the blow and stuff like that, right? In the corner, you don't need to do any of that, like, you know, fancy sandwich setup or anything. You just, like, do jab and then tech throw. So it looks like this. Right? And then Yasuo can actually combo off the solo, so it would just look like... And any character with a plus jab can do this, so I believe it's Echo, Yasuo, Darius, and Illaoi that have plus jabs. So hopefully this helped a little bit if you hate these characters and you want like anything you can do against them, just universally, right? Or maybe you play these characters and you want to explain to your friends why they're fair and balanced and honest. Either way, let me know what you think. Let me know if I missed anything or something like that. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 if you feel like it. And thanks for watching.